Hey guys, so today the episode that's going up is going to be a little bit different. Sabi can't be here right now. She's a very busy lady. She's got a bunch of stuff going on, but she will be back tomorrow. So I'm going to put up a clip from a podcast that I did on a channel called Universal Thoughts. You guys should go check them out. Those guys are great. And they had me on to debate a Marxist slash communist slash progressive. And the debate was about 5 hours long, and we covered all sorts of things like socialism, communism, Marxism, capitalism. But the clip I'm going to be showing you today is about what's going on in the schools with the drag queens. And I think they bring up the trans debate a little bit in it. It's only a 30-minute clip. The entire podcast is split into two parts. It's actually 5 hours long. So you can go over to the Universal Thoughts podcast and check it all out. Now, unfortunately, because it's on webcam, a lot of what I was saying was getting drowned out a little bit. And I couldn't make my full points on everything because the guy I was debating was interrupting a little bit, which is, I understand, because it's on a webcam, so sometimes those things happen. So the debate didn't flow as I wanted it to, but I wanted to play this clip for you guys. It's only half an hour long because I wanted you guys to see that this isn't just things that are happening on Twitter. These are people, everyday people that are in our communities and that believe these things about the things that we talk about on this channel. So I won't go into it for too much longer. I'll let you guys watch the clip, and hopefully I can get a debate with this guy in person, because as I said, on webcam it's a little bit difficult to get something flowing. It was a bit difficult to take his points entirely seriously as well, so you will see me laughing at things because they're so absurd that I didn't actually know how to process what he was saying at times. But I think I handled it fairly well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be back tomorrow with the regular viewing.
I feel like, to start off the whole thing, I think the whole drag show for kids is fine. And the reason is because I just see it as a form of art. It's no different than like music or theater, stuff like that. So for me, it's really normal. It's really not that deep.
Drag, the ones that I've been around, and which has been a lot, are very sexual. Both what happens backstage and what is happening in front of people. They're not a place for children. I don't have a problem with drag myself. My issue is that drag is not a place for children, and it's definitely not a place, it doesn't have a place in school. The same way I wouldn't have a female burlesque dancer come to my child's school and read them story time. It makes no sense. First of all, why specifically drag queens? It's always drag queens. You don't really see it deviate from that. And secondly, what does a drag queen know about sex that I don't know, or a firefighter doesn't know, or any other profession? Why is it always drag queens in schools? To the point where schools down here have had to tell drag queens to not come down to their schools. They've shut down schools. They shut down a school they shut down the sex ed in the Isle of Man because there was a drag queen teaching children about 73 genders. And then there was a teacher. No, I know it sounds funny, but this is what's happening. One of the students pushed back and said there's only 2 genders, and that student was sent out of the class. So my problem is not that drag exists. I have no problem with drag existing. I have no problem with people expressing themselves however they want to. But drag belongs in a specific space, and it's not in the education system.
In general, we know the more inclusive you teach your kids to become. So for example, instead, like, let's say you're a white boy who's a child. If you only surrounded him with white boys, he's more likely to become racist, and he's more likely to become xenophobic or racist because he's not shown as much diversity. When, for example, it's easy if I grew up with no diversity, and basically somebody told me all white people want to do is kill you and murder you and do all this bad shit, and I didn't see a white person, I'd be like, yeah, it's true. I've never seen a white person. I approach every white person with fear. But when I actually see and talk to a white person, they're not like that. The issue is we just want to be inclusive of people. To show people you don't need to be hateful. We're trying to minimize hate, and we're trying to minimize this outrage and reach more of a social unity.
Hateful what? For why would you let half, borderline 90% naked men?
You don't think they tone this down?
Have you seen the footage of family friendly?
Look at the footage.
Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, you guys. I'm assuming you all want to have kids, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like it how people would tell you how to raise your kids? Would you like it if everyone told you?
Okay,
No. Hold up.
They could give advice, but
The
Hold
teachers
up.
don't want those drag queens. I mean, the parents don't want the drag queens there. The teachers
Okay,
aren't.
then you don't have to take your kid there. Change schools.
But if it's happening widespread, if let's say that it does happen,
I can promise you, there's schools that are like like for example in the UK. Take your kid to any school in Surrey. I promise you.
let me just get this straight, okay? Because you've seen the footage coming out of these schools and these family-friendly drag shows where guys have dicks on their head. And people, like, would you take your kid to that show?
Yeah, honestly, it'd be funny as fuck.
You would take your infant to a drag show with a
He's a kid, bro. Like, okay, he saw a dick. Wow.
my days.
oh come on, okay. Would you show corn to your child?
Did he hit
That's a
puberty?
censored word.
Did he
No,
hit puberty? Did they hit puberty?
if they're around. How old were the kids in that show? What are they, like 7, 8
Yes,
years old?
I don't think drag shows are equal to corn.
There's a
No,
man.
not equal, but very close.
Okay, would
Borderline.
you let your kid have access to the internet?
Oh, bro, this is what a
Yeah,
circular
that's
argument.
different. That's different.
No,
You're not
because on the
answering the
internet
question.
they could see all that shit. My concept is like, bro, when it comes to kids, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out. There's no point in trying to censor and trying
But
to
why
limit
would
their
you
shit.
put it in school and put
But
it
hold
face
up.
front?
No, but hold up.
Look, I agree with you. The whole
hold up.
dicks.
Naked
No, wait,
woman.
hold up. I understand what you're saying in the sense that kids are gonna learn it anyway. Yeah, I feel that. But isn't there a reason certain things are taught to you when you're older because of your maturity and you're
The
able
thing
to
is, I don't
understand
like.
it?
I agree with it and disagree with it. But like, first, look, with the whole dicks on the head thing, yeah, I agree. That's a bit much. Like, but like, that's like a minority. Most people, bro, you cannot sit there and tell me you watch 3 videos
Bro,
and
the
now you
problem
cast judgment on
is-
all drag shows.
The problem is, yeah, when you make that acceptable and when you make it okay,
No, I
that's
would tell
fine.
you, yeah, putting a dick on your head is a bit wrong. Don't do it in front of kids. But like, for
Yeah,
example,
but something
if a person
starts
dressed up
small.
in drag, who cares?
But it starts small. This whole thing starts very minute. So you got 2 to 4 to 8. You keep doubling it. Eventually, it's just going to become a norm. That's where the issue is.
That's
Not now.
that's literally
The
what it
issue-
is.
Yeah,
issue-
gay
the
people
issue's
exist
up-
and people in drag exist. They've existed for thousands of years.
But that's like we said. That's fine. But showing what that video literally shows, someone in a thong dancing in front of kids. How do you just? You might as well take your kid to a strip club. You know that,
Okay, okay.
bro. You might as well.
Oh, it's the same argument that parents used back in the 80s and 90s. Oh, my kids shouldn't play Grand Theft Auto. It's going to teach them how to be violent people. No,
But I
they're
think
going
it's a bit different.
not at all, because this is
Yeah.
this is the exact same wording and shit they
It's
use.
not, because we've all played games. I'm assuming we've all been gamers at some point, right?
Yeah.
You guys know I'm still a gamer. You saw the arcade cabinet last week. It's different than what is going on now. The same way
Yeah.
you were hesitating when he said, would you expose your child to adult content on the internet? You kind of hesitate because you know that you wouldn't.
No, I feel like once my okay.
You would, just because drag queens exist does not mean that you parade your infant around in front of them. They
They're
exist
gonna see them anyway. Have you not seen Pride,
for a reason.
bro? Have you not seen Pride?
Yes, you wouldn't take your child to Pride either. Pride,
Fuck, I'll take my child to Pride. Pride's lit.
Pride is about
Oh my
expressing
God.
your sexuality. It's about
No, Pride. No. That's not what Pride is. That is not what Pride is.
That's exactly what it is.
No,
That's
no.
exactly-
Pride
Okay,
is
so-
being proud of who you are, being proud of being comfortable in your own skin, proud of showing who you are. And I think anyone can take part in Pride, whether you're straight,
No.
gay.
and kids.
Take pride. Yes, take pride in who you are. Develop as a person.
What is in the alphabet? What LGBT? But what are those?
LGBTQI+,
Say those
yeah.
words. Yes, say those words. Say
Lesbian,
from start
gay,
to finish.
lesbian, gay, transgender, queer, and intersexual.
You missed
What
out
amongst
by
those are sexualities?
Oh, bisexual.
Those are
Sorry.
sexualities. Those are sexualities, right? That's those are sexualities. Am I correct? That's what
Yes.
they're expressing. They're expressing sexualities.
No.
Would you
Okay.
take your kids
Okay.
To
Why?
to a
Okay. Do you understand? Do you understand why Pride
I
happened?
didn't
Do you
care
understand,
about that?
bro? Do you understand the history of Pride and why Pride happened?
that's irrelevant.
No,
That's
because that's quite literally
irrelevant.
is.
Why do we
Because
care about
they were
that?
sick and tired of being oppressed, and they were sick and tired of people shaming them for something that's inherently normal. It's
Yeah,
okay to feel
Okay,
that way.
that's
We all
fine.
know
Then
where, we
express
all know
that.
where pride
My
comes
point
from.
is, you won't take your child there, would you?
I would let my child learn how to be like proud of who he is, who they are. Sorry,
Why would he care about being? Why would he care about being gay when he's 7 years old,
it's not about being
or
gay. I'm
whatever he
literally
is?
telling you, it's being proud of who you are as a person, expressing yourself, learning to love
Yes.
yourself
Okay.
with all your flaws and all your perfections.
Sorry, have you been
That's
to Pride?
Yes,
Right, I've been to Pride, so you know exactly what goes
yeah,
on.
it's lit. I love it. I want to go this
Yeah,
year.
but you're an adult. I'm saying for a child, it is not a place you take your child.
It shows them that yeah, people who aren't heterosexual exist. I don't see an issue
No,
with
but
it.
Shotty, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Of course, those people exist. We all know these people. No one's invalidating their humanity. But there are certain places you don't take children. You can
For me,
teach your
it's
child,
like
no,
it's
no.
for,
You can teach your child that gay people exist and lesbians exist and trans people exist and not invalidate their humanity or cause any harm to them. We can all agree on that.
but
But
when
you
you
can
okay,
also say that taking them to a pride that celebrates a group's sexuality because they were once repressed and they get to be who they want to be. You've been to pride. I've been to pride. You've seen what goes down there. You would not take your child there with a sane mind.
I would. The only reason why I think if I had a kid to not take him there is because a lot of drunk people. I wouldn't want my kid to be around a lot of drunk people. That's purely it. But the concept is for example, when I see drag and when I see parents take their kids to drag, for me, I just see they're trying to teach their kids to be more inclusive people and to like see like, oh yeah, this is a real thing. People dress in drag, and it's been happening for thousands of years.
Yeah, but
Fucking bro.
show you that at drag shows they do strip. Okay, we've
Yeah,
seen.
but those are the more adult ones. For the kids, they're not going to strip.
What is a family friendly drag? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like okay, like let's say you have a drag queen. Dress up.
what is
I'm not
that?
trying
Is there such a thing as no? Tell me this. Is there such a thing as a family friendly strip club? Does that exist?
Yeah, the strippers really.
Is there such a
fucking
thing as a
Teletubbies.
family friendly? Is there such thing as family friendly corn? Does that exist?
Okay, no. The difference between strip clubs and corn to drag queens. When you have a drag queen, just sit
They're
there
in
and
the
like
same
read a book.
category. They're in the same category.
No,
They are
not at
different
all,
levels.
bro.
Different,
No,
There are different levels, but then the same category.
bro. Drag is no different than like theater or music. It's an expression of self. It's an art form. We can all agree on that, right?
Yes, I agree
Yeah,
with
okay.
you.
Okay.
There's
So
extreme
would you?
levels.
Okay. I have a question. I have a question.
Go for it.
Your kid went on the internet, saw people being affectionate. Let's say even in person, they saw people being affectionate. You know, they're kissing. They may be doing a bit more, but like it's relatively like a bit too much PDA, but it never hurt anybody. Would your kid be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Oh, I want to know how to go have sex with everybody? No, they're going to be like,
You
mom
also-
and dad, what is this?
You wouldn't also say, okay, you've seen people kissing. Here's Riley Reid. This is what happens after.
No, you're jumping. You have to teach them that these people exist, and by showing them, like for me, it's like a drag queen just sits there and reads a book. It's showing that these people are not scary, and especially with the rise of fascism and alt-rightism on the horizon. And I don't think you understand how much like. Especially like the stuff you guys are saying, how much hate is peddling towards this group, even if it's unintentional on your behalf, what it does to people.
No, but Shotty, like there is a way to teach people acceptance without
Okay, how do you think we should teach it?
the same way we were all taught it.
Okay.
People though for what they are because you learn about them, you learn about their different experiences at an age appropriate time.
Okay, Mike, you're 30, right?
Drag queen in front of a 7-year-old, it makes no sense.
Mike, you're 30, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you were younger, was homosexuality really a thing like people talked about, or even your family, or was it socially acceptable at the time?
My family still don't talk about it. I learned about how to be accepted another way.
That's the issue. That's the issue.
No, that's not the issue. There's different ways. The problem with progressives is that whilst I can acknowledge that we weren't as nice as we should have been to gay people in school. That what you guys do is you take that and you jump all the way to the other extreme.
Not at all. We're like It's the same way how, like, slowly after Jim Crow laws were like regressed in America, we started integrating more people of color. We had fuck, what was oh yeah, we had affirmative action where people were like, you had to have people of color. You needed that representation because it's so easy for me to demonize a group of people. It's no different than like the racists in England who are like, we don't want these fucking tower heads in my country. Where it's like, do you actually ever meet a brown person and sit down and talk to them? No, because it's so easy to demonize somebody you don't know, and it's so much easier to peddle hate. So what they try to do is they're like, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna jumpstart this. Teach my kids, you know what? These people exist, and they're not bad. They don't want to grape you. They don't want to fucking make you gay because you can't make anyone gay. They don't want to do any. They just kind of want to binge chill and like fucking do their own shit.
So why not do that at age that's appropriate, like Mike keeps
Okay,
saying?
so for example, let's say you have a super ultra conservative family. Like for example, you have the white Catholic nationalists in America who'll sit there and be like, I would literally rather marry, like, for them marrying a Protestant is like the ultimate sin. They would rather marry like a white Protestant than like a Latino Catholic or like a person of color Catholic. Like the goal is we want to minimize this effect. We want to show people that by introducing diversity, you're less likely to become xenophobic, because that hatred is born, and that prejudice is born out of ignorance and fear of the unknown. When
But
I show, yeah,
Sure, don't you think that the steps that they're taking, I can understand you because I've been to parts of Europe where I'm not as accepted as I would have liked. But that doesn't mean that we take that situation and then we put drag queens in front of children. You have to acknowledge there is other ways to teach people to
yes,
be.
there are other ways, and maybe to a certain extent, we don't know the effects of what will happen with these children until later. So yes, you may be right, and I may be right too. The concept is we want to make people inclusive, and we want people to be happy. We want people to be there and just be like, you know what, these people are real, they're happy, and even like for example, you skimmed over the point where I'm like, in India they do have these things like the third gender, or
I
like the
skimmed over that because I have no idea what you're referring to, so I can't really speak on it. If there is something that you can show where we can see this, whatever you're talking about.
yeah. Let me.
My issue with this is that you keep on saying inclusive and diverse, but one thing that I've learned about progressives is that they care about inclusivity the least. They think that having people of different skin color is what diverse is, but the minute they hear the things that come out of your mouth or understand that you think a little bit differently, then they don't want to talk to you.
Okay, look, I agree, and especially me as a leftist, and as you can fucking tell, I'm a hardcore lefty. There are some fucking leftists, I'm telling you, they're insufferable. They are truly insufferable. I will tell you this from personal experience. I've talked to leftists, and I want to punch them more than you guys. I am telling you this.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
so with regards to what I just said, do you not
Well,
think
I agree with you. Some leftists, they do like to shove shit down your throat, especially white leftists. A lot of white leftists would like, they try and like be this like woke warrior. I'm like, look, being woke is not bad, but the way you guys are going about it is horrible because you're getting more people to hate it. And that's actually like, it's a case study I really want to get into, because I talk to a lot of white people and they're like, I was apolitical all my life. I really didn't give a shit, bro. I just wanted to live, fucking just do my own shit. I didn't really care. But then a lot of people made me feel attacked. So my concept is, I'm like, okay, why are you feeling attacked and why are you going to alt-rightism? And I'm telling you, a lot of leftists are fucking cringe. Like, yeah, there are other ways, but again, what's wrong with this way also?
you know, you've just said, yeah, that there's a lot of leftists that do things that make people dislike them.
And there's a lot of things that conservatives and people on your side
Well,
will
what you just said was that they do a lot of things that people that are more conservative or people that are, I would say, are classically liberal and not as progressive as, like, say, you or whoever. And you see that people don't like it. And instead of, like, doing something to maybe educate these people a little bit more so that they can see your side, you double down. So, for
No,
example,
these are the Twitter progressives. These are the fucking weirdos online that go on Piers Morgan.
because we're talking about these drag queens in school. A lot of these parents are from the previous generations and even the generations before that. And instead of understanding where the parents are coming from, because even me being a millennial, if I took my kid to school and found out they were being taught by drag queens, I would be pissed off. But instead of consoling these parents and trying to have a conversation and even meet in the middle, they just start calling them bigots. They call them alt-right, any label that they can slap on
Yes,
there.
sometimes they might have validity. For example, my solution would be, okay, look, you want to bring a drag queen to the show? Give out a permission slip to the kids before, like maybe a week before, a day before, whatever. You give them what?
Permission slip to who?
They give the kids a permission slip to give to their
Oh,
parents.
okay.
And then they're like, we're gonna bring a drag queen. It's an optional thing, but we highly encourage it and stuff like that. You sit down with them and you try to reason with them. Again, because I understand your point of view where it's like, you might be really fucking pissed because, like, let's say you're like a really ultra religious like warrior, bro. You're like the fucking you're
I'm not though.
Oh, no, you. But let's say there's somebody. There's like the ultra religious warrior or like the ultra conservative. He's like, I don't want my fucking kids to do this. And I don't want my kids to see this. At least give the parents heads up, because I agree with you. Sometimes, like, if you just force it down, it is a bit annoying. However, I understand why diversity and inclusivity is very important also.
Yeah,
I understand.
You're using the like ultra conservative and evangelical people to like make your point, but you have to understand the reason that people are so angry about this is not because of them. It's because normal everyday people don't approve of it. Like my cousin, for example, is not religious at all. Doesn't go to church, doesn't care about any of that. She's not conservative. I would say she's quite liberal. And even she, when she heard about what was going on in the Isle of Man, even she looked sideways and goes, why would there be a drag queen in the school? What sense does that make?
Again, I reiterated this point like 50 times. It's to teach people that they're not bad people. And
okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you. Would you let a woman, okay, who's in a bikini, come into a school in front of kids?
Fuck yeah. Based.
Come on, be real. Like she's 90% nude. Bikini.
Okay, well, drag queens are 90% nude, but again,
but bikinis are bikini.
What?
Yes or no? Like a woman in a bikini school? Yes or no?
Sure.
Why?
Because, like, for me, they're gonna see tits anyway.
Is there no?
They're gonna see tits anyway.
Yeah. When you go to school,
boys.
Listen, please. You're in school, okay? You've been to school, right? There's a uniform policy. There's a uniform policy, right? And why do we? Why? Yeah. So teachers are meant to be professional. They wear ties, shirts. You know,
I found that fucking stupid.
So what is your proposal? What's your utopia? Is it everyone's naked in school? What is your
like wear clothes that you're comfortable, bro? Like the school I went to,
clothing in school.
Bro, that ass, I'm not gonna lie, the fucking school I went to, I don't think you understand how fucking tight my pants were, bro. At the end of the day, I couldn't wait to take my pants off.
Okay, can I just say something? Can I just make a point? Do you acknowledge that when you expose children to things more and more, for example, let's say that you kept on taking a 7-year-old to a shooting range and you kept giving them guns. Do you think those kids are more likely to want to pick up guns in the future or learn more about guns or be surrounded by guns?
Yes, they're going to develop an interest. However...
Wait, hold on. I wasn't finished. If you expose them to people that work in industries where they're hypersexualized, for example, drag, for example...
I wouldn't say, like, they tone it down a lot for the show, like, for the schools. Like, especially the drag reading time.
Are we watching the same video about this?
Bro, you're watching, like, a few fucking videos of, like, goddamn Piers Morgan reviews.
No. This is why you're wrong.
No.
Because the videos that come out of these drag shows have to be censored on YouTube. So if I can't show it on YouTube...
Bro, YouTube are the biggest pussies when it comes to fucking censorship.
It doesn't matter, though. If you can't show those images on YouTube and they get age restricted, why can little kids see them when there's no one looking?
Bro, when it comes to YouTube, there's heavy censorship because they want to make it ultra PG for fucking kids because they want advertisers. And second of all, when it comes to like kids, again, it's an art form. We all agree it's an art form. Like, it's no different than taking your kid to the theater or taking your kid to a concert or just doing any of that.
What you just said was crazy, but we're going.
We all agreed it was an art form.
Can I just ask you? Do you know who? I'm going to move the conversation slightly, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go for it.
Because I don't want to go in circles for 2 hours.
We're just running in circles.
Yeah, I just want to know. Do you know who Jeffrey Marsh is?
No clue.
Right, Jeffrey Marsh is a 45-year-old, not It says they're non-binary, but it's a 45-year-old man from what I can see. And
Oh
on
yeah,
TikTok,
I've seen him on TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one Journey to Womanhood.
No, that's Dylan Mulvaney. That's a separate issue. Dylan is another topic entirely. But
Yeah,
Jeffrey is going on TikTok. Yeah, that's Jeffrey.
Is that the guy with the makeup?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay, yeah, I know him.
yeah, Jeffrey is going on TikTok. Bear in mind, this is a 45-year-old individual. Let's forget that they're non-binary. It could be a woman, it could be a man, it could be trans, whatever. They're 45 years old. This is a stranger. He's going on TikTok and he's saying, "Hey kids, you know, this is," and he's telling them, "You can come and speak to me behind a paywall. We can talk about things that we can't talk about."
Yes, that's predatory.
Right. So this person
Putting them behind a paywall, yes. If you truly cared about like working for LGBTQIA people, you wouldn't put it behind a paywall.
Right. Okay. So then, if you think that it's wrong for the children to be talking to a 45-year-old strange man that they don't know about, can you understand why a 45-year-old drag queen coming into school to talk to the children, where the parents can't see or hear what's going on, why they'd be really pissed off about
Okay,
it?
then why would they ever? Okay, by that same logic, what happens if you bring a police officer or you bring a politician or you bring any of these people to schools?
Because
These
a
are-
police officer's job is to protect and serve a
Okay, bro, we all know the police are fucking corrupt and they're pigs.
in dress
Bro,
up.
Why are you going
bro,
to
we
the
all know the
extreme?
cops are pigs and they're racist.
Going to the extreme. Answer his question is we're talking about a straight proper like a police officer that's honest.
Well, as you said, it's
good,
straight.
coming straight
Bro,
as
you
in
care
you
more
know
about
he's
the- you
honest.
care- Bro, there's no
As in he's
fucking cop.
honest.
Bro, that's a whole different argument. Fuck the
hold
cops.
up.
No,
Okay,
no,
come
no,
on,
no,
don't
hold
go
up,
to
hold
another
up.
argument.
Listen, just listen. What he's trying to say is like, you know, when you have like when you're young, yeah, you have a day where professionals come in and they talk about the profession. One's a fireman, one that's what he's talking about. So he's saying a police officer comes in, talks about his profession, blah blah blah. Carry on from that point.
Okay, I get the whole concept. When we're talking, like, again, I would be like, you can bring in professions from all over. So drag queens, firefighters, no matter my opinion on cops.
What about
pigs.
what about
Professions you
what
couldn't
about
bring.
hold up. What about a professional porn star
Sure.
to talk to your kids?
I'm leaving.
Bro, like, you could,
Nah,
like, they could be like, yes, there is, like, maybe when the kids are a bit older, when they're going through puberty.
Hey, Shutty, wait, hold on. Like, this is the problem that people have with progressives, yeah? You would not want a porn star around your child when we know full well that the porn star funnels young children into their industry. You know full well that on Pornhub, they had a whole scandal where there was child pornography on there. And we know...
I would say that's a bigger issue of the
Hold on.
patriarchy.
We know porn stars get abused. We know there's all sorts of things that happen in the porn industry.
And that's why they're all going to OnlyFans.
No, but you wouldn't have them. You wouldn't have OnlyFans model in school, would you? Would you have the girl Belle Delphine? Would you invite her into school to talk to your child?
Fuck yeah! I would love if Belle Delphine came to my school.
Okay, we're talking about children here, not 18, 19 children.
Okay,
I'm
bro,
talking
like,
about-
let's say, like, for me, because, like, I see sex work as work. So, like, for me, I'd be like,
Okay. No, but why would you need kids to see that?
Yeah,
to open up all career options. Like, yeah, the shit exists.
Hold up. So
Open
you
up
want
career
so hold up.
options.
So you want an 8-9-year-old to say in the future, I want to become a sex worker.
I mean, if it makes them happy, sure.
If you had a
Hold-
daughter,
no,
would you be
That
okay
is
with her-
do you know that's borderline pedophilia? What you're saying?
Bro, for me, like, okay.
No.
Let me
Hold
explain
up.
this.
You do realize what you just said is borderline pedophilia.
Let me explain the point. So you
Okay,
want
let me
people of
explain.
careers to come to a school and show people their
Okay.
profession.
Okay.
Sure.
Sex work is work. Drag is work. All this shit is work. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, when you go up, suck a dick or like get fucked by 15 guys. No one's saying that. But what they're saying is like, yeah, it's something. Yeah, like when they're older, for
How would
example.
you
Like,
describe it. Okay. Give me a scenario where a corn star is coming into school, talk about the profession. How would they describe it? What's their description, job description? Pretend, just reenact the scenario.
Okay, hi, I'm X star. I go by this alias online and this thing online, and I make adult content.
No.
so-
But how would you describe adult content?
yeah,
You gotta break
yeah,
that down
yeah.
for a kid. The kid's 8, so you gotta break it
Okay,
down.
not 8. We're gonna talk maybe 13, 14.
Okay, go on. 13, 14.
13, 14, because this is when they're going through puberty, so obviously they started watching. Hey, I make adult films. Some of you may have seen me, some of you may have not. I'm X person. I would be like, and then they would be like, okay, look, I do this, and there's obvious risks going into the industry. There's a lot of predatory behavior. There's a lot of like weird, shady shit that goes on.
Hold up. All this, so okay, these drag queens, what age were they
show
showing
all
at?
or show nothing.
That's mad. What age was this shown at, these drag queens, Goni or Mike or anyone? Was it like 8, 9-year-olds, right?
It was like infants.
They were very, very young.
That was the recent video I saw.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking 8, 9 is mad, bro.
Bro, no one's saying as a kid like go suck a dick or something. It's just like showing.
No,
again,
no, that's not
I
the
keep
point.
illustrating this point. It's like, bro, these people exist, and especially like,
okay, I get it exists, but is there like, but what you, like you just said, professions, right? Are you saying that it's okay for a porn star to talk to 8, 9-year-old kids?
No one's saying 8 or 9.
What age?
I'm saying
what age?
I'm saying once they start going through puberty and they start feeding out those hormones, be like, hey, this is also a line of work if you want to pursue it.
Why can't you get someone that is educated on sex education, like a teacher, to explain to them the pros and cons of sex and the things that happen in the real world?
First of all, like,
that has literally just clean come off their vest to come into school to talk to a bunch of children. They're not teachers. They're not teachers.
Okay, look.
To an OnlyFans man. One saves lives. The other one does things that kids don't need to hear.